Jackson, where are the others? Crewman Jackson is dead. Mr. Scott and Mr. Sulu are still out of touch on the planet below.
Dust, cobwebs. Halloween is right. That cat.
That cat?
Cat is the most ruthless, most terrifying of animals. As far back as the saber-toothed tiger.
Demons in animal form sent by Satan to serve the wizard.
I live by my own decisions. You're a weak fool, Korob.
I have the power!
Howdy folks, and welcome to the Spaghetti Theater for the Spaghetti Theater Review, where once again I'm exploring an episode of the original Star Trek. So with it being October, the month of the holiday known as Halloween, or as some Star Trek fans like myself prefer to call it, Spocktober. I originally wanted to review Spock's brain, until I remembered there was actually a Halloween-themed episode of the original Star Trek. Only one, and it was called Catspaw. The episode that features a giant cat, even though it's clearly fake. But yeah, there's a Halloween planet in the Star Trek universe, of course. Why not? Apparently there's a planet for everything. And I kinda like that. There was that old-timey gangsters planet, there was that Old West planet, that fairy tale planet, even that Nazi planet, and so much more. It's a good episode that features the technical first appearance of everyone's favorite Rusky, Pavel Checkov. Yeah! And we get to see Uhura get fucked out of commanding the Enterprise because of society. Oh, so happy Spocktober, everyone. Let's get right to it, shall we? The Enterprise, everybody, with Captain Kirk and the gang. And they're checking out a random planet that they found again. Just be careful this time, guys. We don't need any of that naked time virus shit again, okay?
Love.
Only too late, they've already lost contact with the landing party, consisting of Scotty, Sulu, and some guy named Jackson, who might as well just kill himself right now because he's probably a red shirt, since they foolishly beamed down to this dead-as-hell planet. At least according to the Enterprise computer, it's dead. Totally void of life except for Scotty and company. Only now not even they're registering, or answering their flip phones in space. Then suddenly that guy Jackson calls in so he can beam the hell up, only alone.
I'm ready to beam up, sir.
And he won't explain to Kirk why Scotty and Sulu aren't there.
Jackson, where are Scott and Sulu? Jackson!
So him and Spock storm off to the transporter room to see what the fuck's up now. So cut to the transporter room, where Kirk and... oh, I guess he lost Spock along the way. Probably got distracted by something he saw that was illogical. Like why a booze-happy engineer and an easily swindled to the other side botanist...
Come, join us.
You make it tempting.
were sent down to investigate a strange new planet. I'm sure that the M5 would disagree with the landing party selection on this one. So instead of Spock, we get Dr. McCoy, just in case Jackson is in need of medical assistance, as the always reliable Mr. Kyle beams Jackson up, who's actually not a red shirt. Huh, what do you know about that? Looks like Jackson might survive this one, as Kirk asks him, what the hell happened to Scotty and Sulu?
Jackson, where are the others?
And nope, he drops dead right there. And takes a pretty convincing spill, too. And fun fact, no stuntman was needed for this scene, since the actor playing Jackson, J.D. Jones, was mostly a stuntman, who also appeared as an extra like this on 10 episodes of Star Trek. So McCoy jumps in to check on Jackson, who...
The man is dead.
The man is dead? Not, he's dead, Jim? A missed opportunity, Bones. But yeah, Jackson's dead. This handsome young chap. Sorry, Jackson, we hardly knew ye. A one phaser salute to Jackson. Damn it, Mr. Kyle, what the hell did you do this time? Can't you just beam something up correctly for once without fucking it up?
I'd have gotten round to it.
And although Jackson is dead, his mouth pops open, and a haunting voice comes out of it, warning Kirk, personally,
Captain Kirk.
that the Enterprise is cursed and needs to leave this planet now. Or else. More shit like this, I guess. So fuck off or die.
Die.
Bum bum bum. Roll the dang credits. That finally include DeForest Kelley and Gene Roddenberry, since again it was the first episode produced for this season. Only it aired 7, so it could come on during Halloween and be relevant. But yeah, it's Star Trek, everyone. Kirk, Spock, D'Amato,
That's hard.
Riley and the gang. 5-year mission to stick our flag on every planet we can. To boldly go into an endless void of mystery, cause why not? Humans were pretty bored just hanging out on Earth by 2267. Star Trek! We'll cut to that planet as Kirk, Spock, and Dr. McCoy beam down to see if they can find Scotty and Sulu and avenge the death of Jackson if we have time. Meaning, the main chain of command is now on the planet's surface, which leaves Uhura in command, I guess. Chekhov's too fresh out of the academy for that kind of responsibility. Logically, she's the next in line. I'm putting my hat on for this. Woo! Uhura in command of the Enterprise. This is gonna be good. So fucking A right, folks. Star Trek is making more breakthroughs in diversity and equality. Once again, because now Uhura, a black woman, has command of the Enterprise. Thank you, Jesus! Woo! Wait, what's that shit? NBC executives will have no such thing? America isn't ready for that kind of shit yet? You decided? It's 1967. We can't handle the fact that a woman, let alone a black woman, is commanding the Enterprise. Oh fuck you, 60s society. It was a different time, I guess. I can't judge too much, I didn't even exist yet. But still, it's annoying. I kid you not though. It's another fun fact, folks. In Robert Bloch's original script, Uhura was given command, and NBC said nope to that shit. So fuck you, Uhura, and you too, Checkov, because we're giving command to this guy. DeSalle, folks. Woohoo! It's DeSalle time. So cut to the planet's surface, where Kirk and company wander around, looking for their comrades, where Spock picks up multiple life readings on good old Mr. Tricorder. So Kirk calls the bridge real quick to see if their sensor reports agree with the ones on Mr. Tricorder. So cut to this doof. DeSalle on the Enterprise in temporary command, as Uhura secretly holds in her rage. And of course, Checkov, everybody, in his unconvincing Beatles Monkeys era wig, as he checks the sensors for DeSalle, which are only picking up 3 lifeform readings. That of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, of course, but nothing else.
There is nothing else down there that's alive.
So the Enterprise and Spock's tricorder don't agree. DeSalle tries to report this back to Kirk, only communications are not working right now.
The captain. Captain Kirk.
Fucking technology, just like my Xfinity box.
Captain Kirk.
So Kirk and the gang continue on, only to be stopped by these 3 hags, floating in the air and trying to be scary, I guess. And they even know Kirk's name. But so did that voice that came out of Jackson's dead ass.
Captain Kirk.
So old news there, folks. So these witches try to warn them off with singing and creepy laughter. Only you're gonna have to ham it up a bit more, ladies, cause they're not convinced. And Dora could do a better job at this, I'm sure. And so they vanish, just like that. Bye, ladies. Nice knowing you. And Spock's analysis on this weird shit? Well, besides the fact that they were reciting bad poetry in Spock's opinion,
Very bad poetry, Captain.
all he can tell you is none of that shit was even real. All fake. Yet they're still picking up life forms on Mr. Tricorder, so they continue to follow him. That's when Dr. McCoy spots this castle in the distance, as the front doors open all by themselves, welcoming them in. If this is just another council of old guys, I'm gonna be pissed.
It would have been glorious.
Spock then verifies that this is the source of all those life forms that Mr. Tricorder's been picking up.
This is the source of the life form readings, Captain.
Spock can't explain any of this weird shit though, so they head on over, through fog that's so thick you would think Rod Serling was out here smoking a butt. So they enter the castle and are greeted by a kitty! Aw, kitty! A black one too, aw. Who is spooked and runs the hell off. Bye, kitty! That's when McCoy comments on what all these strange things are adding up to. Those 3 witches, this castle, and now that black cat. Sounds like a good idea for a Tim Burton movie. And Kirk gets it too, as we see when he references Halloween,
And I'd say someone was playing an elaborate trick or treat on us.
which I assume is probably not as celebrated by 2267, I would think. However, Spock's at a loss and is totally unfamiliar with the idea of Halloween,
Trick or treat, Captain.
which is odd considering all the 20th century Earth shit he's referenced and knowledgeable on.
I believe they had a device known as a clutch.
So Kirk just makes fun of him by comparing his general look to that of a Halloween costume.
You'd be a natural.
In your face, Spock. Spock might have been offended too, if only he knew what the fuck Halloween was. Only no time to explain, Spock, because we have some castle searching to do. So cut back to the Enterprise for another dose of the Captain DeSalle show. Bullshit! As Checkov reports in that they just lost the lifeform readings of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy.
They're gone, Mr. DeSalle.
So, oh well. Uhura, Checkov, go beam down and look for them until you vanish too. Because, as Uhura herself points out, that's exactly what happened to Scotty and Sulu, and that guy we already forgot about. Jason? Jobart? Jackson, that's it. Good old Jackson. May he rest in peace. That's when DeSalle points out that people don't just disappear, you idiot.
Nobody just disappears.
Hey DeSalle. It's the computer telling them that, you doofus. Plus, people vanish all the time unexpectedly on Star Trek. It's nothing new. Remember when Kirk, Checkov, and Uhura were zapped over to that planet Triskelion and... Oh wait, that hasn't happened yet. But still, DeSalle, weird shit like this happens all the time. Get with it. So to cover up his stupidity, he pretty much blames Checkov and tells him to recalibrate his instruments.
Mr. Checkov, recalibrate your sensors.
And try again, and even offers his help.
If you need help,
In case that's too much work for your wigged little head, Checkov, who stands his ground and declines DeSalle's help.
I can do it, sir. I'm not that green.
Way to go, Checkov. You don't need that dope's help. So cut back down to Kirk and company, as they begin to finally search that castle, when boom, the door is slammed shut behind them. So, you're stuck here. So they head down this hallway of dusty cobwebs, when McCoy comments again on the Halloween-esque shit they are seeing.
Dust, cobwebs, Halloween is right.
That shouldn't even be here, according to the Enterprise. When cut back to that kitty again, as it runs ahead of them. Aw, kitty! That's when the floor suddenly gives way, and Kirk, Spock, and McCoy fall through, and land unconscious in the dungeon room below, as Kitty peeks down to check on it. Aw, Kitty wants to help! Or she led them this way so that would happen. Either way, Kitty's lost interest and just leaves. Time to go shit in a box, I guess. So cut to later, when Kirk, Spock, and McCoy regain consciousness, and now find themselves shackled to that dungeon wall, along with this caged skeleton, which must have been a torturous way to die. Trapped in that tiny-ass cage until you eventually just die, unable to move an inch. So they're all fine, I guess. No permanent damage from that fall, and hey, Bones even has a new friend. Bones! It's Bones and Bones, everybody!
Bones.
Waka waka! Another Halloween reference. That's when Kirk questions why are there so many Earth references here.
they're all Earth's manifestations.
Which once again Spock can't explain with good old logic, yet everything around them is clearly real.
But these things do exist. They are real.
Which is when the dungeon door suddenly opens and in strolls Scotty and Sulu. Hey, they're alive. Mission accomplished. Let's beam the fuck out of here.
5 to beam up.
Episode's over. Happy Halloween and good night. Wrong. Scotty's holding his phaser on them, and neither of them are saying a word, and they appear to be mindless zombies now, and ready to kill.
They appear to be drugged, John.
Or drug McCoy, you're the doctor. Anyway, Sulu frees them from their chains as Scotty orders them out the door. So they start to go when Kirk swings around and goes for Scotty's phaser. As they start to fight for it when snap! They're in another room now and this guy orders them to stop. Stop! What the hell? So, mind-boggled, they listen to this guy and check out their new surroundings. Kirk then compliments this random tubby guy and his eyeball robe, complete with magic wand, for being quite the illusionist. Only can you make the Statue of Liberty disappear? I mean for real, not just by moving the stage. You know, I can imagine Steven Seagal living like this guy and wearing that exact robe. Yeah, Kirk then asks him what the hell he wants and what the hell have you done to Scotty and Sulu, which he responds to with a judgment on the human race.
You examine any object, you question everything.
Always questioning and not just accepting. Oh, that's us alright, you bald moo-moo wearing weirdo. Kirk's not just going to accept the death of good old Jackson, you asshole. May he rest in peace. Yet he does assure them that Scotty and Sulu are simply under mind control. Don't worry about them. They're fine.
These two are merely controlled.
And once again, he knows them all by name.
Captain Kirk. Oh yes, we know who you are.
But hey, they've established this twice already, so no big deal.
Captain Kirk.
And Kitty's here too. Aww. So Kirk asks this guy straight out, who are you and what the hell do you want?
My name is Korob.
Korob? Huh. Korob.
My name is Korob.
Fine. Korob it is. Anyway, Korob points out that it was their stupid asses that showed up here in the first place. Then beamed down again, even after being warned off.
Leave this place, or you will all die.
Kirk then asks him about all this dungeon shit, with the castles and the black cats, and the whole Halloween thing, which Korob assures him is all real. However, Spock claims that this planet, that's called Pyrus 7 by the way.
There never have been any life forms on Pyrus 7.
Pyrus 7. Even the Halloween planet is a cooler name than that. There's already 6 of these Pyruses. Come up with something new. Korob then tells them that they're not actually natives to this planet, as Kitty starts to get a little restless. Aw, Kitty! Is Korob revealing too much about his species to these strangers? Is he? Is he now, Kitty? And Korob can actually speak cat, because he goes right on into talking with it. Oh, is that so, Kitty? According to Kitty, Korob hasn't been a very good host.
I'm told that I've been an inattentive host.
And has failed to offer them any refreshments over at the Korob buffet. So he takes them right over there. Kitty, too. When Spock has this comment to say on cats.
Demons in animal form sent by Satan to serve the wizard.
Well, thanks for that fun fact, Spock. A demon in animal form sent to serve the wizard. That sounds cool as shit.
Superstition.
Calm down, Spock's just reporting the legend.
I do not create the legend, Captain. I merely report it.
So you know about that legend, Spock, but not Halloween? Which is when Korob points out that clearly Spock's not a bumbling idiot human, like these guys.
There are no colors to your patterns of logic. There's only black and white.
He's a being of sense and logic, for the most part anyway. Their mating ritual needs some work.
He doesn't know about trick-or-treat.
I do not understand that reference.
So let's get to the buffet already when poof! He uses that magic wand to summon up a huge buffet as promised. Only they're not hungry.
We're not hungry.
However, he insists.
But I insist.
So they all take a seat. Kitty too. Aw, Kitty! Kitty want a treat? And Spock right in front of the whole wheat bread that he probably loves so much. I can picture him as a whole wheat bread guy. So enjoy the buffet, Korob insists.
Well, Doctor, do try the wine. Find it excellent.
Try the wine.
Only Kirk's not going to cooperate, of course.
You'll find us most uncooperative.
Oh, but wine! I want to know how it is.
Try the wine.
And that whole wheat bread. And that 60s pineapple, too. Only no, Kirk's being a sourpuss about this whole buffet thing. So Korob tries to change his mind by zapping the buffet away and replacing it with a few plates of precious jewels, valuable diamonds, riches. Only you can't eat that or drink it like wine.
Try the wine.
Besides, there's no money in the future, you idiot. The economics work different, you dumbass.
The economics of the future is somewhat different. Money doesn't exist in the 24th century. We work to better ourselves.
They work to better themselves. The snobs. And Korob expects Kirk to just take these as payment, and then just leave. Oh, Korob, you have much to learn about old Kirky here. Cause Kirk's all like, big deal, Korob. Jewels like this mean nothing to us.
We could manufacture a ton of these on our ship for you, Korob. It means nothing.
We can easily mass produce them ourselves on the Enterprise. So eat shit, buddy. It's just like the Rip Van Winkle caper, alright? Gold is meaningless now.
Valueless?
What kind of highly evolved species are you anyway? So now Korob's confused and doesn't get why they're baffled by their surroundings and have no use for rare, precious jewels. Apparently he was under the impression that this is what humans were still into. So, I don't know where you're getting your information, Korob, but it's a bit dated. So Kirk has no intention of just leaving with a plate of jewels. That's when Korob admits he may have been wrong.
Well, perhaps I have made a small mistake.
He's a reasonable alien, and then claims this was all part of his little test.
Nevertheless, you have passed the test.
Which McCoy has to ask, what test would that be, Korob?
But you were warned to stay away, and yet you came to save your comrades. That proves loyalty.
A test of loyalty to their comrades, apparently. Because they came here anyway, even after he tried to scare him off.
Leave this place, or you will all die.
Using Halloween scare tactics.
A bravery was tested.
A test of bravery in the face of fear. Which you passed. Those 3 hags didn't scare you.
I perceive that you cannot be bribed.
And you can't be bribed with things that have no value to you, apparently.
It means nothing to us.
So there's that, I guess. That's when Kat has something to say, and that's something if she has to bail. These guys are a real drag. Oh, kitty.
Oh, quite right. Go at once.
So Korob lets her go as she struts on out of there as McCoy checks out her ass on the way up. Oh, McCoy, you dirty dog. Or cat. Then the second she leaves, this fashion statement enters the room in her flowing black dress thing. And of course, Kirk's the first one to jump up and greet her. Oh, sit down, Kirk. Put it away for 5 minutes. Just like that, he's forgotten all about Jackson what's-his-fuck and is all about whoever the hell this lady is.
Jackson! Jackson!
May he rest in peace. Korob introduces her as his colleague, because there's no way these two are dating. Her name is Sylvia.
Gentlemen, my colleague, Sylvia.
Or actress Antoinette Bauer, everyone. She played Eve on that Twilight Zone episode, Probe 7, over and out. Only here she's Sylvia, which is also what Korob called the cat, so they're one and the same. So Sylvia goes right into explaining to Kirk what they did to Scotty and Sulu. Well, as we know, aliens like to probe things. Like minds, for example.
Mind probing.
And she explains to them all how easy it is to probe a human mind because it's so stupid. And goes right to work on McCoy the pushover, apparently, for a few seconds, with her crystal necklace. Same one the cat was wearing, cause she's also the cat, yeah. Then, in a power move, Kirk grabs a handful of those plated jewels and tosses them in Scotty's face and wrestles away his face. Then tells everyone to stay the fuck back, cause he's in charge now. Way to go, Kirk. Just throw a handful of jewels in Scotty's face. So he hands the phaser off to Spock and immediately starts demanding shit.
Now I want the rest of our weapons and our equipment.
That's when Sylvia realizes that she needs to demonstrate her powers to Kirk, so he'll put that thing away. And then whips out this little necklace she has of the Enterprise. It's a little Enterprise! Aw, how cute! I want one! No, I don't. I got too much shit. Sylvia then explains how she used her thoughts to kill that guy Jackson, and basically thought him to death.
I made an image of him. In the essence of my thoughts, the image was Jackson. And when I killed the image, and knew that it was dead, he died.
You can't think a man to death.
She then snaps Kirk's flip phone back into existence and has him call his ship as she holds her little Enterprise trinket over a candle flame, something of which even Korob doesn't approve.
Sylvia, don't.
Because I guess Korob is a better alien than this bitch, cause she does it anyway. So cut to the Enterprise, everybody, and we can see that they're on alert as this guy runs by wearing one of the old uniforms from the pilot episode. Get in with the times, buddy. So Uhura gets that call from Kirk, who's happy to hear he's okay after all, sorta.
Are the others all right, sir?
As DeSalle jumps right in to inform Kirk that the temperature on the Enterprise keeps on rising.
The temperature, sir, keeps rising.
And according to Checkov,
Reading, mister.
or Mr., DeSalle hates Checkov, methinks. We're burning up, sir.
We're burning up, sir.
And there's nothing we can do about it. In no time, the ship's gonna be too hot to handle. Starring Sulu.
Every control on our ship became too hot to handle.
A new episode this week on NBC. So in case you haven't figured it out, Sylvia is using that necklace of the Enterprise as a voodoo doll, folks. So Kirk tells him to hold tight and he'll handle it down here by simply snatching Sylvia's toy away from the fire. Yoink! And then gives up the phaser. Fine, lady, you win this one with your voodoo powers and shit. But at least DeSalle and Checkov are gonna be fine. Whew! I was worried there for a minute. Only now the communications are out again.
Enterprise to Captain Kirk. Acknowledge.
Can't have everything. So go back to doing nothing, I guess. Too hot to handle! So cut back to Korob, who's all excited now and wants to exchange information on each other's sciences and ways of life.
You've seen something of our science now. Now tell us about yours.
He's not exactly a bad guy, this Korob. He just looks questionable. Only Kirk's all like, look Korob, old buddy, old pal, you're way more impressive than us with your ability to manifest whatever shit you want.
I'd rather know more about yours. You call it magic, you call it science. But you seem to do with your mind what we do with tools.
We have to use tools, and it takes for fucking ever sometimes. This castle, fucking shit, man. That is a project. Korob tries to continue, only is cut off by that pushy bitch Sylvia.
Yes, we can change the molecular
Korob, you talk too much.
When they cut to this extreme close-up of Korob's face for a reaction shot for some reason. As she basically tells him to shut the hell up before you reveal something useful to them. That's when McCoy makes this point.
You kept Scott and Sulu as Catspaw to lure us down here.
Catspaw! Hey, that's the name of the episode. We have a title, folks, and now you know why. That's when Kirk gets all cocky and warns her, now that you've let him contact the ship, they know he's alive.
How long do you think it'll be before a search party arrives?
And it's only a matter of time now before they stupidly send down another away team to meet up with the Hale Bob. Just do it. History reference, folks. That's when Korob reminds Kirk of Mr. Little Enterprise trinket here. Aw, it's adorable, isn't it? I want one. No, I don't. And then uses his magic wand to zap it into this clear cube. Trapped by an impenetrable force field.
An impenetrable force field around your ship. There will be no search party.
So your crew are now prisoners on their own ship. Take that shit. So cut to the Enterprise so we can see how DeSalle handles this. As commander and all, a horror would have busted out of that thing in a second. But no, it's DeSalle time, folks. His time to shine.
Reading, mister.
As Checkov and his stupid wig verify that there's some sort of strange force field surrounding the entire ship, not really coming from, well, anywhere.
It's simply all around us.
So cut back to that bitch Sylvia, who's now threatening to use force to get the information she wants, as Kirk naturally still refuses to go along with her.
We have nothing to discuss.
Torture away. So she has them all sent back to that dungeon, only has Dr. McCoy stay behind.
The doctor will stay.
Since he's going to be the first mind that they probe out of this little group. So everyone leaves and Dr. McCoy is, well, fucked I guess. Bye McCoy, you had a good run. A better run than this Martian. It's time to be tortured by Sylvia. Oh, I hope she shocks his nipples. So cut back to the Enterprise, as DeSalle can't get an analysis from Checkov cause...
It will not analyze, sir.
Stupid fucking technology. Why the fuck are we way out here in space when we're depending on this crap? Fuck. So DeSalle's convinced that since the force field is real,
But it's there, and it's real.
it can be affected. Since things that exist can be affected.
If it's real, it can be affected.
Way to go, DeSalle. That's why they gave you command. Please, even Riley might have been a better choice.
Captain Kevin Thomas Riley of the Starship Enterprise.
Anyway, good old DeSalle has a plan. A plan that he's so sure of that he says this shit.
Maybe we can't break it. But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.
Wow. What a line to give this one-time commander of the Enterprise.
But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.
Oh, he's serious now, folks. He's betting his credits against Navy beans. Whatever the fuck that means. Could have just said, I bet my life this shit's gonna work. Only no. Credits to Navy beans, folks.
But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.
So fucking go for it, DeSalle. So we can cut back to Kirk and Spock shackled to that wall again, waiting to see what happens to Dr. McCoy. I guess it could be just banging. Who knows, maybe Sylvia's really into McCoy. His nickname is Bones after all. Anyway, Spock has finally come up with a theory for Kirk about how all of their surroundings seem to be part of the human imagination, or as he calls it, the twilight world of the consciousness.
They all belong to the twilight world of consciousness.
Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
And apparently, Korob and Sylvia tried to probe their conscious mind, only hit their subconscious mind, the imagination basically. Spock even points out how Korob was surprised that these surroundings didn't seem normal to them, and they even refer to them as creatures, meaning once again, they're just taking human form for the first time and are unfamiliar with the species and their sciences. Which begs the question, if Korob and Sylvia are not really human, then what the hell do they really look like? A question that will get answered.
Korob and Sylvia, as they really are. Their forms were an illusion, just like the castle and everything else.
At the very end of the episode. So Spock has deducted that they are totally alien. And Kirk just hates mean-spirited total aliens who take an interest in his galaxy, the Kirk-verse.
And I don't like hostile strangers showing such an acute interest in our galaxy, our world.
At least not unfriendly ones. Good aliens, yes. So watch out, mean aliens. E.T. and Alf, you're okay. Predator and actual alien, you guys suck. So it's up to Kirk and Spock to stop these aliens before they go too far.
I guess it's up to us.
Only they're still shackled to this dungeon wall. Like they were in a sketch on You Can't Do That on Television. Who remembers that shit? So finally the dungeon door opens and once again it's Scotty and Sulu. And now they have a new buddy with them who's also under mind control. Dr. McCoy, one with the body again.
I am not just a body. Assassins!
So yep, Bones is a mindless zombie now. And they're here to fetch Kirk, since it's his turn now to be mind probed and turned into a mindless zombie. So Sulu unshackles him. So cut to Korob and Sylvia, who are now arguing like a married couple, bitching about the mission that they were sent out here to do in the first place.
You forget what we were sent here for.
I forget nothing.
A mission that Sylvia wants to abandon now that she's human. So Sylvia goes on about how normally they have nothing like this. Human bodies with emotions and feelings.
We have nothing like this, and I like it.
And she likes it. She likes being a rich woman in her castle while fighting with her family. Like it's Space Dynasty or something.
I find it stimulating.
You're wrong!
I want you out of this castle! Only Korob is less of a greedy prick and wants to continue with their original mission, which sounds far less intrusive than what Sylvia wants.
Torture our specimens.
And that too is a new sensation. You're a weak fool, Korob.
So they argue and argue since, yeah, they've never felt sensations like this before. This is a lot like another episode, by any other name. A theme Star Trek likes to visit, as much as Kirk likes talking machines into committing suicide. So their argument gets so heated that we're treated to another extreme close-up of Korob's face. Whoa! As Sylvia threatens his life now.
I could squash you.
Even though he claims to have the power!
I have the power!
That being his magic wand, I assume. Then Kirk and company come into the room to end this little family feud. Since now it's Kirk's turn to be mind probed, so Sylvia kicks everyone out, as Korob lays down one more threat of his own.
This is not ended, Sylvia.
Sorry everyone, they're fighting. So now Sylvia's all ready to probe Kirk's mind to understand human sensation more, when he tells her that what she needs is a little compassion.
A woman should have compassion.
If you want to be a likable woman anyway, try buying some from Salvador Ross. Oh wait, he's dead. Yet Sylvia thinks she's just fine, and explains how she came from a world without sensation.
I come from a world without sensation.
And needs to learn through them how sensations even work. Because clearly she's having some issues adapting to them.
I could squash you.
That's when we see that Korob is listening in on this shit. So to show Sylvia some sensations, what does Kirk do, can you guess? Why he starts making the moves on her? You could have also punched her directly in the face if she's so interested in feeling sensations. She's technically not even a woman, so it would be okay.
I could squash you.
Sylvia then starts dumping on Korob.
He is a fool. I'll do without him.
What a big fat bald loser idiot he is with his stupid robe.
I have the power!
And is now no longer interested in probing Kirk's mind. She wants to join his mind and become one.
Joining.
Like that song, when two become one. Only willingly, since she can't understand this feeling of why Kirk excites her so much.
You excite me. Why?
Must be the Axe body spray. Only we know why. And so does Kirk when he tries to explain some more. With his tongue, as Korob the Perv watches on. Not sure who he's jealous of. So then to show Kirk exactly how hot she can be, she snaps into this fancy ass hairdo. You know, I like that much better actually. Yet that outfit is very impractical. But I'm sure Kirk likes it. She then snaps into this little number. She's an anime character now. Even does this shoulder thing. Bing, bing, want me? Then back into this one again.
Or do you prefer me as I was?
It's alright. How about that dress with this hairdo? So stricken with this difficult decision, Kirk decides to just make out with her again, as Korob gets bored and just leaves. I know, right Korob? You can only watch him do this so much before it becomes cliche. And it's during this makeout session that she reveals to Kirk that their people are useless without their transmuter. The source of their power here, one might assume.
Like feathers in the wind without the transmuter.
Only later, Kirk, I think she wants to get laid. And feel that sensation. Only she just figured out that Kirk is using her now.
Are using me?
And is mighty pissed. Only Kirk doesn't care since you've been using him this whole time too, bitch.
Why not? You've been using me and my crew.
So the doors swing open, and the mindless zombie trio walk in to take Kirk back to the dungeon. Right after she tells him how she's gonna destroy everything that he holds dear.
We'll be swept away. You, your men, your ship, your worlds!
And if you think she's bad now, just wait until she has her first period. El Snapo! So cut back to the Enterprise with DeSalle, Checkov, and a Korob, as Chekhov's analysis report reveals that DeSalle's plan actually worked, and they did indeed manage to put a dent in that force field.
I don't see any change.
It's there, Lieutenant.
That dent you wanted. It's not much, but it is a start.
So way to fucking go, Temporary Commander DeSalle. It was your moment to shine and you sorta pulled through. I guess you won a shitload of Navy beans.
But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.
Or credits, I forget. So cut back down to Kirk and Spock again on the Halloween planet, cause fuck that Pirate 7 shit. As Korob comes busting into the dungeon with his magic wand and frees them from their shackles. See, he's totally a good guy, this Korob. And to prove it even more, he tells Kirk that he freed the Enterprise from that little cube that it was in. Even though they would have freed themselves on their own eventually.
Although they would have freed themselves soon.
Thanks to the great DeSalle and his can of Navy beans.
Navy beans.
You see, it's not so easy for these aliens to control a bunch of shit at the same time. So trying to mind control 3 guys, keep this castle facade up, and imprison the entire Enterprise is a bit much for them according to Korob. Hey, that could be a sitcom too. According to Korob. According to Korob! Premiering this week on NBC. Right after an all-new Too Hot to Handle. So Korob gives them their effects and tells them to get the hell out of here. Before Sylvia makes a human spectacle of herself. Bing, bing, want me? Only they're not leaving without their 3 mindless comrades. Only Korob claims that they're the property of Sylvia now, and there's nothing he can do about it.
They're not your men anymore. They belong to Sylvia.
She's a mad woman overcome by sensation.
I can squash you.
I would like to see her when she tries food for the first time. She'll blow that Meg Ryan orgasm scene from When Harry Met Sally right out of the water.
I'll bet you credits to Navy beans. I can squash you.
So it's come to this. Korob and his species' plan to come to this universe in peace has failed.
We could have entered your galaxy in peace.
Thanks to Sylvia.
Your walls!
I guess this is why a woman can't command a starship, huh? They would become overwhelmed with sensations. And crash into a fucking moon or something. Trying to take over the galaxy. I'm kidding, ladies, of course. Khan was just as nuts. It took a few decades, but they finally got it right with Captain Janeway, proving that, fuck yeah, a woman can command a starship. Then get it lost in space, but still, she was great. That's when Korob mentions that transmuter again, and claims that it's what was able to bring them here in the first place.
We used the transmuter.
Only no time to elaborate on that shit because here comes Sylvia. And is she ever mad? So they try to escape with Korob as Sylvia takes the form of a cat again to go after them. Only this time, she's friggin' huge. At least that's what they're trying to convince you to believe. That's when we get to hear more shit about cats from Spock on why she chose cat form.
Cat is the most ruthless, most terrifying of animals.
Most terrifying, I guess, when they're huge like that. But a little regular house kitty is just plain adorable, Spock. It's like a tribble. That's when they realize that the phaser has been drained of all energy, so it's useless anyway. So there will be no cat executions today. So trapped now, Korob just takes him back to that dungeon. As Giant Kitty pursues him, so he can face off with her himself. They're the same species after all. He could turn into a giant dog. As Kirk and Spock escape through that hole they made in the ceiling earlier. As Korob tries to take on this giant cat, just as a regular fat bald dude in a robe, only the cat manages to knock the entire dungeon door off its hinges and right on top of him. In this very believable shot. As this skeleton hides back here in a corner, terrified, and probably thinking, oh, I hope that giant cat doesn't see me. Well, Korob's fucked, I guess. But since he was such a good sport through all this, Kirk runs over to help him. Well, at least he tries to, but the door is way too heavy. Can you just use that magic wand right there to just zap it away? Korob tells him to go and then just dies, I guess. So now that it's down to just him and a giant cat, Kirk grabs the magic wand and runs the hell off. And that magic wand, by the way, in case you haven't figured it out, is the transmuter they were talking about. The source of their power. So he tosses it up to Spock so he can climb out of there too. When Spock says,
Captain, a bit more alacrity if you please. Alacrity, 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 alacrity.
what the hell, Spock? Do I look like a scientist over here? Just say quicker, or even post-haste. Then, as soon as Kirk gets out of there, he's immediately attacked by Dr. McCoy. A fight ensues, which Kirk easily wins. As Scotty goes after Spock when... Enter Sulu, all ready to kung fu Kirk's ass. Because all Asian people know some form of martial arts. I guess. As that fight between Spock and Scotty is easily diffused with a Vulcan pinch to the neck. Coink. As Kirk Kung Fu Sulu right into this door, knocking him out cold. Oh, Sulu. Then one more hurrah for Bones. Bonk. Fight's over. But at least they found all their men. Zombies, but still.
Fortuitous. And now that we have them all together.
Now it's down to them and that giant Sylvia the cat. And they are weaponless. So Kirk has the idea to run back and get that transmuter that Spock just left lying there on the floor. Spock? Transmuter. Source of all their power eating. Kirk then tells that giant kitty that he has their precious transmuter now.
Sylvia, I have the transmuter.
You better back off. So she does and turns back into a human again. That's better. Good girl. Now you can have a can of Fancy Feast. She then tries to be all nice and starts moving towards them.
Don't let her touch the wand, Captain.
When snap, she zaps them back to this room to avoid Spock's logical interference. She wants that damn transmuter and does everything she can to get it.
Give me the transmuter.
No.
It's an important tool that she needs to steal their dreams and ambitions from them or some shit.
With them I can build.
Only Kirk's not falling for any of her crap.
I catch on quickly.
So she pulls a phaser on him and demands that transmuter. Give me my magic wand. Which he slowly starts to hand over to her and smashes it on the table instead. Kapoof! Everything disappears and he's back on that dead-ass planet void of life. As everyone else involved just comes wandering on over. They all have their effects back and they're all perfectly fine. That's when we get Scotty's one and only line in this episode.
Everything's vanished.
Yep, it sure has, Scotty. How'd you like getting a handful of jewels thrown in your face? As for Sulu, fun fact, didn't have a single line in this episode. Unless you want to count that, aha, he said, before the Kung Fu attack. Aha! And actually, Scotty, you're wrong. Not everything has vanished, as Kirk points out.
Not everything.
As they pan down to reveal this weird ass shit. These two friggin' things. What the fuck? Looks like a 5-year-old school art project come to life. It's supposed to be a bird, mommy! Only it's not. This is Korob and Sylvia in their true alien forms. So wow, I can see why Sylvia wanted to be human so badly. This doesn't look like a fun way to exist at all. At least not without that transmuter shit. How did you even invent that looking like this? You should have listened to Korob, Sylvia. And you can clearly see the strings here making these things move, because this is the original version of the episode. In the remastered version, they cleaned this part up a bit. And naturally, Spock is fascinated by this.
Fascinating. A life form totally alien to our galaxy. If we could preserve and study this.
Which I thought he could do with his tricorder, but oh well. 'Cause they're dead, Jim. Since they couldn't survive without that transmuter. And now they're smoking. Then to close things out, McCoy remarks on how all of this was just an illusion.
All of this, just an illusion.
When Kirk says bullshit to that, McCoy.
No illusion. Jackson is dead.
Did you forget about Jackson that quickly? Because I'm pretty sure everyone else did. You were right there when it happened, McCoy, you heartless jerk. Yeah, Jackson's dead. So that was no illusion. May he rest in peace. 5 to beam up. Kirk out. Episode over. Roll the credits to Navy Beans. Which leads me into my final thoughts on Star Trek's one and only Halloween-themed episode, Catspaw. It was a real enjoyment that I understand a hell of a lot better now. It was written by Robert Bloch, who also wrote the novel Psycho. He also wrote 2 other episodes of Star Trek, What Are Little Girls Made Of and Wolf in the Fold, another episode I reviewed on this channel. And like I said, this was the first episode produced to feature Checkov.
Mr. Checkov, recalibrate your sensors. You need help?
I can do it, sir. I'm not that green.
Only it was aired 7th, making Amok Time his broadcast premiere. Theodore Marcuse played Korob and sadly died in a car crash about 10 months after this episode aired in 1967. He was also in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, To Serve Man and The Trade-Ins. Also, that toy necklace of the Enterprise that was encased in that cube was later donated by Gene Roddenberry himself to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. Wonder if it's still there. The sound effects used for this dying alien weirdness was actually that of newly hatched alligators calling for their mother, just to weird it up even more. As for DeSalle, our one-time commander of the Enterprise,
We can't break it. But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.
Well, he quit acting after this pretty much, and became a lawyer for the Coast Guard. So way to go, DeSalle. And the final fact I'll mention is that eyeball robe that Korob wore. It was actually used on another TV show 10 months earlier. On an episode of Gilligan's Island, Gilligan wore it in a dream sequence. So I guess they borrowed it or had more than one. But that is neat. I actually first learned this fact on a YouTube channel that looks for little shit like that in TV shows. So I want to give credit to that guy, Rick9G at YouTube. It's also on IMDb. And with that, I'll end my Spocktober look at Star Trek's Halloween episode, Catspaw. As usual, a big thanks to all of my subscribers and comment leavers. It's greatly appreciated again. So until next time, happy Halloween, folks, and I'll see you at the theater. That was for Jackson.
But I'll bet you credits to Navy beans we can put a dent in it.